I'm pretty nervous. It's a big day. So.
I love it. You gotta look.
Thanks for the sport.
It's done. We did it. And by we did it, we mean she did it. Because we did nothing. She did everything. Hi, I'm Joe. That's Toni. Toni did Chattanooga. We were talking about how Toni does Chattanooga in the whole 3-part lead up to Iron Man. And now she's back. She's done. She doesn't know what to do with her nervous energy now that she can't go bike 66 miles after work. So now she's stuck in the office with us.
Fact.
How did the race go overall? Started at 7:50 a.m. You finish at 11:10 p.m. That is a total time of 15 hours and 20 minutes. You finished in 70 minutes before the cutoff. So that is a full day.
15 hours and 20 minutes, that's no joke. And I sit here before you 10 days later, and I think, did I do that? Because it doesn't feel like it was me. But it was me. I saw the pictures and I watched the video. And I have some stories to tell, but I'll
Please
wait for
tell us. Let me guess, this first question might lead you into one of those stories.
Maybe.
Overall, how did the race go? And what was the day like? Weather?
The weather was perfect. It was hot. It was like 88 degrees in Chattanooga. But the day, there was very little wind. I hate the wind, so I'll take the heat over the wind any day of the week. So no complaints there. And I'm pleased with how the weather was.
Tell me about each discipline, for better or for worse. You started with the swim, then you went to the bike, then you went to the run. Swim at 7:50 in the morning, 2.4 casual miles in the river. What was the start like?
So you get in line, and there was this big debate because they didn't tell you the water temperature. They take it at 4 a.m., whether you could wear your wetsuit or not. So it was wetsuit legal, meaning you could wear your wetsuit if you wanted, but you wouldn't podium, which means podium means first, second, or third in your age group. Never going to happen for me because I'm not that fast. I'd have to finish the race in like 10 hours. That didn't happen. And I finished my swim, a personal best, 1 hour flat for 2.4 miles.
Good for you. Which
is smoking. But I'll tell you why, and this is the best part of my day, because it was the shortest part of my day, but we swam with the current. So it wasn't it's not like I equipped fins to my feet or anything like that, but the current did help. And I felt so comfortable in the water.
So you're done with the swim, you towel off, you hop on the bike, and you go for a ride 116 miles. How long did the bike ride take?
I'd have to look at my numbers, but it was around that 7.5 hour mark. So this is where this Ironman, a typical Ironman's 112 miles, but because of the river and how Chattanooga and northern Georgia, because we rode into northern Georgia for a lot of it, is set up, Ironman had to add an extra 4 miles to the bike. At the time when I signed up, I'm like, what's 4 miles? Nothing. Let me tell you, those last 4 miles on the bike, I was like, this stinks. And I usually swear, but I'm trying to keep it clean. But it was about 7.5 hours. And I will say, the most beautiful bike course I've ever ridden on. Beautiful rolling hills, mountains, sun, great people, great volunteers. And I actually felt really good. My stomach did start to bother me a little bit, but nothing that Tums couldn't fix.
Ew.
You have to be able to play the long game, is what I like to say. You have to be able to go a little slower so you don't crash. Because after that bike, we had the marathon to run, and I have a lot to say about that marathon.
Please tell us about it. Please.
This is the best way I can sum it up. I knew it was hilly, but when we think hills, I think like if you're ever out by KVCC and they've got hills out there on 8th Street, I ran those hills a lot in preparation. These are not hills in Chattanooga. They're like a cross between a hill and a mountain. And I came around the corner and I looked up and I'm like, they want me to run up that? And that's when the swear words came out. And it took everything. And I'm not kidding when I say this. I cried 5 times on the marathon. And I'm not a crier. Well, yeah, I am a crier. But not when I'm racing, or I wouldn't even call this racing. Not when I'm participating. I was trying to think of things that made me happy. My kids. Nope, that didn't work. I started crying. I was thinking about my husband. Nope, that didn't work. So I just was like, okay, I'm going to embrace the suck, because it was so hard. There were points where I didn't think I was going to be able to finish.
Tell us about the Hot Mess Express.
So there's a video. Tim, you got to put it in. My husband, I did not have my camera, like my phone with me. You're not allowed to have it. But my husband was running around Chattanooga following me all day long, and he had his iPhone. And apparently I still had my wits about me at the halfway point of the marathon. Mile 13 of the marathon. I'm a Hot Mess Express, party 1. It sucks. So any messages on Facebook would help. I've only cried 3 times. My emotions were just all over the place. I was so tired.
Will you do another Ironman?
There's another video for that.
Let's take a look at that now.
I'm going to say this now. I'm going on record. I'm not doing a full Ironman again. So let it be known. I'm glad I'm going to finish, and I couldn't have done it without you guys. So thank you.
I can't believe you said what you said. Could you elaborate?
I said I would never do one again.
As we all saw.
I honestly, it felt different this time around. So, and not in a bad way or not in a good way, but I feel like I put the period at the end of the sentence. I don't like to use definitives, so I could tell in that video I was really tired, and I was done, and mentally exhausted, physically exhausted. But like I said, my goal was to do one more Ironman before I turned 40. I turned 40 in June, this coming June, and it felt like I finished that sentence. Like, I've done 2 Ironman, and I'm proud of that, and I hope I'm a good role model for my kids and for others that had to endure this with me for the last year, that anything is possible, and truly it is if you work hard enough. You love my cliches.
I do. Well, I'd love to say we could cap this one off with our famous push-up competition, but I have a sore back today, so we're not going to.
And I'm in recovery, but I would like to cap it off with some thank yous, because I think that's super important.
Sure.
Like some real thank yous, so don't make a joke out of them.
I won't.
All right, so first.
$100 says she starts with her husband.
No, no. I want to thank Greenleaf Hospitality Group as a whole, because you and I collectively took about a little less than an hour of their lives up with our videos if they watched them from beginning to end. But I really did have a lot of support on social media that day, and we are very fortunate to work for this organization, because a lot of people in my shoes did not have this type of support. So I'm grateful for that.
The kids would say, #blessed.
Exactly, #blessed. I probably look old doing that. Maybe.
No.
I've thanked my husband enough and my kids. You know what though? I want to thank my parents, not for birthing me. I mean, this is thanks enough. But I left my disposable contacts at home. I didn't pack them, and these are daily disposables. And I got to Chattanooga, and I was like, mother, beep. So my parents had to overnight them to me. And Joe, I have to thank you.
Don't want it.
I did. I thought about you out there, because you were the only person I thought about that didn't make me cry.
That's
so I don't know what that says.
Perfect. That's great. It's exciting.
But it did get me through thinking, we're going to do this recap video. What if I don't finish?
And that would be embarrassing for both of us.
Right.
Not embarrassing, that was the wrong word, but it just wouldn't be as
tough.
fun.
You would have to watch me cry.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Nobody
No.
wants to see Toni cry. On next week's episode of Toni Does Chattanooga, Toni cries. You're going to want to see that one. Anyway, Greenleaf, thanks for taking this journey with us. It was so much fun. For me, it was literally like an hour and a half out of my life over the course of 5 weeks. For her, just a touch more. So who's the real hero? We'll let you decide.
Nathan, you are an Ironman Nathan. Congratulations. Toni Daniels, Kilimanjaro, you're an Ironman, Toni.